And we're back with Richard Reviews. Today on Richard Reviews channel, Richard is reviewing for us another Haruki Murakami book. This one is called Pinball 1973. Richard reviews, all of his reviews and book reviews can be found on his YouTube channel with the link in the description. And also his article blogs that he writes perfect reviews for each book that he feels deserves exquisite attention can be found on Richard's blog, which he started in 2014. You can check all this out in the description. And we're going to get into this book right now. This is Murakami's second piece, part of the Rat trilogy. This is the piece in the Rat trilogy. Before we get in, let's look at the piece itself. The piece itself is actually backwards because this is a two-part piece, okay? So, Pinball 1973, Haruki Murakami. As you can tell right here, Haruki Murakami, wind. Where'd the wind come from? We're reading Pinball. What is this wind? Slash Pinball. Where's the 1973? What is going on with the titles? We don't know, but we figured it out. This book is two books in one. Hear the Wind Sing. Okay, that's Murakami's first book. And on the back, well, on the second half is Pinball 1973. So if you want to read Pinball 1973, you have to read it this way. Okay, and if you want to read Hear the Wind Sing, you have to read it this way. This is what Richard was getting across. Richard felt that this back and forth between two books in one was a little confusing in the beginning, but he ultimately found a better picture for society. Richard remembers his meditation and his self-transformation that happens in this book. There's a lot of references to Kant, Freud, Hayden, but as you can see, the first part of this book is in fact Pinball. Let's take a look at the cover here. There it is, Pinball 1973 as we look at the piece. Now let's look at the piece itself. There's some chrome here. We got some chrome. This is Richard's piece, so Richard noticed this chrome. We have chrome along the edge, and we're going to get into it right now. Pinball 1973. So as you continue to read this book, you're going to go through the chapters as fast as you can, trying to pick up as much invitation as you can. But after about midway in, you're going to realize that the novel ends right here, okay? And it picks up immediately with this book, which is upside down, like a frog on the pavement below. See, this is classic Murakami. And the other part of this book is, in fact, Hear the Wind Sing. So it's two books in one. Hear the Wind Sing and Pinball 1973. We're going to talk about Pinball because Richard has spoken about Hear the Wind Sing in another video. This is Richard's review on the second novel, Pinball, the second half of this book. And he thought that although he loves Murakami, this is not one of his most favorite pieces of Murakami. You can see the rest of his favorite pieces on his YouTube channel, which if you click his channel page, you'll be able to find more videos of Richard's other reviews. As for this book, Pinball 1973, not Richard's favorite, but he felt that it was necessary to read if you're going to get into the Haruki Murakami wave, which is most appreciated as you, approach different stages in your life. Let's take a look at the price up here. We got $16 in US. So Richard obtained this piece, which is a very nice piece. By the way, very classic, clean cream from north to south, nipple to nipple. Very classic cream, and good shine, great shine, and it is wavy. It does have waves, not as many waves as other Murakami books, but this piece does shine on its own, which is really beautiful. The translation is important in this novel because this is Murakami's method in general in which we read the narrator. And he's a person who not only is at the center of this novel, but he takes up the job of translating with his partner. And he opens up, I guess, like a little company, and he transfers translation work as a symbol. Now, you might say, you're familiar with Murakami's personal life. Don't be naive. We're just drawing. Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Not only does it make not any sense, but it doesn't have anything to do with BPA or BPS, which is free and American. Richard is not a Canadian citizen, but he has crossed the line many times. Superfoods and diabetics really don't concern Richard, but normally when he eats bananas, it's on Tuesday. So this is really what we're getting at here. He is international, symbolically, and he is significant, symbolically. We're going to move from movement, original text, to some sort of custodian criminal, and it's an important context because between which one you really want to sleep with, whether it's 100 milliliters or 1,000 milliliters, we're going to talk about expression. And this is something that's originally inexpressible, so to think about at a certain time. I do Nalgene on each water, whether it's from fresh water and Maine. This can be confused with Home or the punk rock band Pink Floyd from 1976. The different language that he uses to borrow different symphonies is something difficult to express, because Richard is not only a fan of Murakami, but also a fan of the Japanese culture in general. So even the small descriptions that you can find as the narrator's walking down the street, Richard gleeded with glee, a relatively direct way on the subject matter, and he felt this was talking directly to him. This has been a Haruki Murakami Pinball 1973 review. This book was titled Pinball 1973. You can find the rest of Richard's reviews on his book channel and his YouTube channel. Thank you.